Hello everyone, this is Steve from Aircraft Specialty with another one of our new series of videos entitled How We Make It. This video is going to be part 2 of our engraving series. Now for those of you who have watched part 1, it detailed the steps required to order custom engraving from Aircraft Specialty. In this video we're going to continue that process and show you what happens from the time that we receive the order through getting it set up for engraving. So right now we're taking a look at our engraving software on the computer. And essentially I've already input the data here. So what we've done is we've gone ahead and input the data from text box 1, text box 2, and text box 3 that was ordered through our website. You'll also notice a bunch of lines on the screen. And what these are is these are alignment marks so that we can ensure that all of your data lines up properly and is in the proper orientation before engraving. You'll notice that this is not just your engraving, but actually shows a holder for your fuel caps. What we've done is every single type of fuel cap that we do, we've created a separate holder for, and we've machined these holders to a tolerance of approximately 1/1000th of an inch. What that does is it makes sure that when we do the lineups for your fuel caps, that every single fuel cap comes out the same so that there's no variables or discrepancy from cap to cap. That way what you see on the website is exactly what you're going to get. Once we have input the data, you may have seen a picture of this for those of you who have already purchased fuel caps from us. What we do is we take a snapshot of the screen so that our customers can have a look at what the fuel caps are going to look like. What this does is this just eliminates any sort of potential confusion or allows our customers to get one last look at what they've chosen in case they'd like to make any modifications. One common modification that people make is that when they input the data, they'll perhaps input some letters in lowercase, and maybe they didn't mean it intentionally, or they did, but regardless, when something like that happens that's a little bit out of the ordinary for us, we'll always go ahead and input the data into our engraving software 2 different ways and then send copies to our customers so they can choose which way they like it better. One other thing to note is that when you've selected a color for engraving, be it red or black, for your text fill, that does not show up in the engraving software. So don't be concerned if you get a picture of the proof and it's a different color than what you had ordered. We manually do that later. Once we've ensured we have the correct data, we click the Run button. And basically what that does is we have preset parameters, what type of engraver we're going to use, how many RPM the engraver is going to turn, what sort of speed the engraver is actually going to move back and forth at, how deep the engraver is going to go, etc. Once all those are complete, we click the Run button, and then the computer creates a toolpath, if you will, and that's how the engraving is actually done. Once that toolpath is created, we click the Simulate button, and you can see it went rather quickly there. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. And what this does is this lets us verify that at the end of the engraving everything is going to be accurate. So the actual engraving is a lot slower than this, but for expeditiousness we let the simulation go quick. We make sure that all the letters are completely engraved and that everything looks good to make sure that when we put your fuel cap on the engraver everything will work perfectly. Once this is done, we have to export the engraving into a format that the machine can understand, and that's called post-processing. So once we click that button, we run it, and what you'll see here is you'll see a bunch of different lines of code. This is the code that the computer, the CNC machine, actually understands and uses in order to create the text that we have input into your fuel cap. Now that that's all complete, we take that file and transfer it over to our engraving machine, and that completes this segment of the video series describing how we computerize and get your engraving set up for production. I hope you enjoyed it, and please watch part 3.